Hello and welcome. I'm David Kasnoff. For this Kodak close-up, we're talking with Kwaku Alston, one of today's most in-demand celebrity portrait photographers. You've seen his work in Time magazine, Vanity Fair, Premiere, and the New York Times Sunday magazine. Today, Kwaku shares his tips on connecting with celebrities for great photos and when and how he chooses film or digital to create his captivating images. So here now, a Kodak close-up with Kwaku Alston.
I went to school of Rochester Institute of Technology, so we had a very broad and we learned everything about photography in terms of photography history. For sure, I did my research on that because we have the Eastman Kodak building up there, so you can go down there and check out your library. And I did that a lot. It was kind of nice to go see the different everything from camera work, which Stieglitz worked on, to you can see there's so many different things. A Bruce Davison book from the 50s or whatever. There's so many different things that the resources were for any young photographer. You couldn't ask for more. The most important change I've seen, relevant change, is time on delivery. It's for some reason everyone wants something, they want it the next day. It's like fast, faster, faster. And with digital, yes, it's a lot faster. You can get the film or files, images to your client next day, but it still doesn't mean, you still have to have craftsmanship involved in that and retouching or whatever you need to do. But time is a big thing right now. When I approach a photo shoot, any photo shoot, I don't distinguish it between different magazines. I just do what I do. I think if you start doing that, you automatically put yourself in that box to shoot like that magazine. Of course, it's hard because we look at so many images. We're bombarded with so many images per day. And when you go from like a Vanity Fair to something like a Time magazine, yes, they do use different types of photographers. But for me, I try to just do what I do best. And that's just being myself and going into a situation and trying to listen, trying to see, and try to capture something a little bit different with my celebrity or with my subject. So I guess it's just being myself. That's it. I have no formulas. I just go in, I listen to people, just try to play off them and come up with something special. I think you have to do your research, there's no doubt, with photography now. Before, when I was younger, I didn't do a lot of research. I always did a little bit, yes, I always did some, but now I'm like, okay, if it's Tom Cruise or is it someone like a Nelson Mandela, I make sure I go out there and I read what they're doing now, what's their new project. So when you get into the room with that person, you can actually talk to them in an intelligent manner about their work, their life work. Because at the end of the day, everyone likes to hear about themselves. So you have to take that into consideration. So you say, hey, oh, I love the movie you just did, it was great, blah, 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 blah. Or, oh, I heard you're working on this project, or I heard your charity, you're working on this. Something that you can relate with that person so you can break it down, so you can get to the core of who that person is to get the better photograph. It also helps the person become more comfortable with you. The publicist control things, and the celebrity usually does what the publicist wants them to do. Certain celebrities, younger ones. The older celebrities, if they're a trusted photographer, they definitely give them more time. So there's a lot of factors. It's the magazine, it's the celebrity, it's the photographer, what the photographer's reputation is, and it's also the publicist and the concepts. I'm really into large format cameras. I like 8x10 cameras. That's what most of my personal work is shot on, 4x5 or 8x10. But I do shoot digital for a lot of my commercial work for turnaround reasons. And there's something nice about shooting digital where you're on the screen, everyone's on set, and you have this huge screen, and your art director can go, okay, I like that, I don't like that, or move the camera over here, which I don't like when they do that, but they're paying me to do something, so my ego's not that involved where I go, no, we can't do it that way, because they might have a different application that I don't understand that I have to be aware of, and you have to let them speak their mind. So I shoot everything, every format, from a Holga to 8x10, and I shoot digital and film. But for my 8x10, I'm strictly more 400 speed, 400 NC. I like that film a lot, and I'm definitely a Tri-X fan. I don't understand it. I just love Tri-X. Something about Tri-X. But 120 is 160 VC, NC every now and then. That's about it. 800 speed once or twice. It's just about having a good bag of tricks. And that's where all the different formats come in play. Because when you're using like anything, say you go from a Hasselblad to square format, you have to into a rectangle 8x10 or to a half frame or a 35. Those are different ways of composing an image. So, I mean, I don't like to stick to one thing because sometimes it refreshes your eyes to go to a square format and you're holding it down like this on a waist level finder compared to looking at a viewfinder of a 35mm, Mark II or something. It just changes the way you compose. And I think that's important because it keeps you fresh. If you stick with the same camera the rest of your life, a lot of people do that. There's nothing wrong. There's experts that people who made their whole living and made these big things and careers out of it. But for me, I like to switch it up. So much more involved. Before, when you shoot film, it was like you shoot the job, you send it to the lab, the contact sheets come back, and you do your edit, and you go, okay, send it to the client, cut them down, the contact sheets, label and whatever, and send it to your client. That's pretty much what it was. Now, it's like you shoot the job, and you have to go back and do some color correction, or you basically are now the lab. I'm the lab now, and it takes a lot more time. I have to edit because I usually have a lot more frames now. I got it down to where I look at digital differently now. It took me a long time, about 3 years, to start counting my frames differently. So I shoot 10 frames. So I know 80 frames is 8 rolls. So that's how I do it now. So, but the main thing is editing in your head when you're shooting digital, doing your color correction, contrast, all the post stuff before you send it to your client. Because if you send them raw images, it looks terrible. I had magazine covers where they put the raw image on the cover. And I'm like, what? And it makes me look bad. Everyone's calling me up. What happened? And I'm like, but you can't let it get out of your control. And I have to be a little bit more hands-on now with the digital. Before I didn't have to be as hands-on. What I tell students now is show what you love. Show what you love. Shoot, 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 shoot. Keep shooting and show what you love. Don't try to go out there and copy other photographers or go to a magazine and there's nothing wrong being inspired. We're all inspired by images, but don't shoot what you think the magazine's going to respond to. Shoot what's in your heart first, and then show it to people, and hopefully someone was going to like it.